Welcome to this week's meditation atelier. So we're going to be being in a mindfulness of breathing and compassion practice. So there'll be two parts to this. So setting yourself up in a comfortable position, knowing that the intention is to fall awake. And I'm going to start the practice with a reading today from a book called Wintering by Catherine May, and it's divided into months, and we're in October. So the next session will be in a couple of weeks. So let's read about autumn. Wintering: The Power of Rest and Retreat in Difficult Times by Catherine May. Halloween is the border crossing into winter. Technically, November is an autumn month too, with leaves still clinging to the trees, but psychologically a line is crossed here. The day following Halloween, when the pumpkins begin to moulder, my thoughts turn to Christmas, to getting in firewood and wearing tights under my jeans on bonfire night. We've come a long way since Halloween was merely the night before Hallowmass, the day the Christian faithful remembered the sacrifices of their saints. In Halloween, we see echoes of the Gaelic pagan festival of Samhain, which marked the arrival of the dark half of the year. It was celebrated with bonfires and burning torches, the scattering of ashes and attempts to see the future through dreams or the flight of crows. Samhain was considered to be a moment when the veil between this world and the other world was at its thinnest. Old gods had to be placated with gifts and sacrifice, and the trickery of fairies was an even greater risk than usual. This was a liminal moment in the calendar, a time between two worlds, between two phases of the year, when worshippers were about to cross a boundary but hadn't yet done so. Samhain has a way of marking that ambiguous moment when you didn't know who you were about to become or what the future would hold. It was a celebration of limbo. Our contemporary Western celebrations forget the dead altogether, or at least remove them from any association with grief and loss. They offer no comfort to those who mourn. We are, after all, a society that has done all it can to erase death, to pursue youth to the bitter end, and to sideline the elderly and infirm. For most of us, the tradition of laying out our own dead is long forgotten, and the idea that we might be intimate with death is now some kind of Gothic joke. Today's Halloween simply reflects what we secretly think, that death is to surrender to decay that makes us monsters. But winter is a time when death comes closest, when the cold feels as though it might yet snatch us away despite our modern comforts. We still perceive the presence of those we've lost in the silence of those long evenings and in the depths of darkness that they bring. This is a season of ghosts. Their pale forms are invisible in bright sunlight. Winter makes them clear again. So Samhain has a way of marking that ambiguous moment when you didn't know who you were about to become or what the future would hold. So as we transition into the depths of autumn and move into winter, let's take some time to be with ourselves and notice. So to begin with, an invitation to take an in-breath on 4 counts, to hold for 4, and to breathe out to the count of 6. Breathing in for 4, holding for 4, Breathing out to the count of 6. Breathing in for 4, holding for 4, and breathing out to the count of 7. Breathing in for 4, holding for 4, and breathing out to the count of 8. And then following this cycle of breath for a few more cycles, counting in your own time, ensuring that out breath is slightly longer than that in breath. And then returning your breath to its natural rhythm. And expanding your awareness from the breath to include all of your body. So scanning from your toes all the way up to the top of your head. Checking in with each nook and cranny, making any adjustments along the way, letting go of any tension that you might find. Elongating your spine, unclenching your jaw, releasing any tightness around the eyes and the forehead. An invitation to bring a light smile to your face. It's turning up the corners just for a few moments. The muscles on our face communicate directly with our brain. They can activate our sympathetic nervous system. They can activate our parasympathetic nervous system. The little things that we do matter. The small moments matter. Holding your posture in a dignified manner. Honouring the time that you carved out, your busy day to be here. And an invitation to set an intention to be present with kindness, curiosity, and interest. To simply notice what's arising in your body. That your mind will wander, that it will get lost in stories. And each time you notice, bringing yourself back to an anchor within the body. So a moment to pick what that's going to be today. Is that going to be a point within your breath? Is it going to be somewhere neutral in the body? Somewhere that you can bring your focus and attention to when your mind has wandered, you get lost, or there are parts of the practice that don't feel right for you today. We're learning to listen and to pay attention. And sometimes that will be not following my guidance. It's important to listen, to take care of your needs. You are the expert in you. So once you've found your anchor for today's practice, parking that to one side, and an invitation to take an internal weather report. How are you? Might be a feeling, might be a label. Tired, hungry, bored, irritable, happy, sad, joyful, indifferent. What exactly is that, and where is it in the body? So the prefrontal cortex is communicating to the body right now with this story, this feeling, this interpretation, maybe what your body's experiencing. So let's drop into that. Where is it? Does it have a shape, a colour, a texture, a movement? Is it in one part in particular? Does it move all around? So we learn to listen and to pay attention. Learn our body's language. Be curious. And then leaving this weather report to one side, and an invitation to narrow your attention, bring awareness to your in-breath. You might want to focus on one point in particular. You may want to follow the full flow of the breath as it comes through the nostrils and into the lungs. Just paying attention to the in-breath. Counting if that's helpful. If you notice you're competing with yourself or losing your way, not making it to 10, a reminder that it's not a competition. An interesting observation of your habits and your tendencies. So we take this time to be impartial witnesses and simply observing our in-breath, how much we can observe in ourselves in these moments. This in-breath. And this in-breath. Checking in with your posture from time to time. Letting go of any tension that you might notice. This small moment this in-breath. And now an invitation to turn your attention towards your out-breath. Maybe staying with the same spot, observing the sensations that you notice here, the changes, the out-breath, the letting go, the discarding of the carbon dioxide and other toxins. Counting if that's helpful. Maybe observing a different point of the out-breath, maybe following the flow as it gets squeezed and pushed out and down and out. That your body knows exactly what to do. The breath, the out-breath, acting as a direct anchor for the present moment. The textures, the shapes, the colours, shapes, movements. Being present to what is now. The mind wanders, and each time we notice, we bring it back again and again and again. Stepping out of our stories and into our direct experience, just for the space of this practice. And now an invitation to widen your awareness to the full flow of the breath. The mind might pop in here going, "Oh, good, some more things to concentrate on. This is a bit more interesting." Or perhaps it's saying, "Not the breath. This is boring." As best you can, stepping out of the story. Your thoughts are simply thoughts, they're not facts. And moving your awareness to your anchor or to the full flow of the breath. You have choices. What can you notice? to follow the cycle of your breath? Are you resting in that one point, observing the in-breath, the out-breath, those slight pauses? Maybe you're resting with your anchor, the sensations that you're noticing here. As best we can, we're all sitting with our direct experiences. With our minds wandering off. Returning our attention again and again to our breath. This ordinary yet extraordinary mechanism within the body. Direct link to our parasympathetic nervous system. One of the only parts of the autonomic system that we have some control over. This breath we barely notice for the most part of our day. What are you noticing of it right now? As best you can, resting in your direct experience. This simple yet extraordinarily difficult practice, simply paying attention. And then an invitation to expand your awareness from the breath to include all of the body. And an invitation to narrow your awareness to your left foot. With kindness, compassion, tenderness, your left foot. You get so little attention. The places it's been, the movements it's made, all those joints and ligaments and tendons, nail beds. Exploring and holding your left foot in mindful, compassionate awareness. And then moving your awareness away from the left foot to the left lower leg, between the ankle and the knee joint, the shin, the calf. What can you notice here? Observing yourself with tenderness and curiosity. Remembering that you've got that anchor. At any point, there are parts of the body that you don't want to explore with tenderness. your left lower leg. Now let's move to the knee. Being curious, kind, and noticing. Maybe you're colouring yourself in or painting, exploring with a magnifying glass. This abstract way of looking at the body with tenderness and compassion. Being with things as they are, noticing if you wish them to be different. Holding space for yourself. Your left knee. And now an invitation to move your awareness away from the left knee to the left upper leg, so your thigh. Observing the sensations, curiosity and tenderness. And then moving away from the left leg altogether, across the hips, down the right leg to your right foot. What can you notice here, if anything? What is it to hold your right foot with curiosity and compassion? For the most part of our day, our body is an inanimate object. Behind the scenes, the body works so hard to keep us going. What sensations can you notice in your right foot? Now let's move our attention and focus to our right lower leg. Being an impartial witness to yourself. Checking in. Maybe weaving in some gratitude. Now let's move our attention to our right knee. The scrapes it's had. It's floating patella that we're not born with, that grows with us and disintegrates. What can you notice here? Your knee, that joint, ligaments and tendons, fluids. Let's move our attention to the right upper leg, the thigh. Holding this part of your body with kindness and curiosity, compassion. Moving our attention away from the legs altogether, let's bring the spotlight of our attention to the lower part of our trunk area, so the pelvis, the bottom, the sacrum. Below the belly button, a sort of cross section, softness, hardness, organs, skin. What sensations can you notice here? Letting go of stories and as best you can being with your direct experience. Yet holding this space with compassion, tenderness. Now moving your awareness to the middle part of your trunk, your belly, lower ribs, middle back. Size of your waist. Warmth, coolness, hardness, softness. Expanding your awareness away from the middle part of the trunk to the upper part of the trunk, the chest area, the shoulders. Checking in with your posture, letting go of tension and tightening this part of our body holds a lot of our experiences, stress and strains. Carries our load, physical and mental. What can you notice here? And then moving your awareness away from the trunk area to your arms and hands, exploring in your own way. It's part of your body. Who we hold, who we've held. The tasks this part of our body has already done for us today, gone unnoticed. An invitation to hold tenderly your arms and your hands, exploring the felt and physical sensations that you observe here in this moment. Let's move to our necks. The air that we've breathed, various parts of the world, the foods that we've eaten past here. Our voice, our neck that connects our brain, the rest of our body. And let's move to our head, face. What facial expressions are you holding right now? Is there any tension or tightening in your jaw? This face that communicates far more information than the words that come out of our mouth. Where we see the world. world sees of us. Moving your attention to your ears, that hear, that listen, that block out, filter. Moving into your brain. The most fascinating and understudied part of our body. Your unique brain that filters, feeds information to the body, keeps you alive. And then an invitation to expand your awareness from the brain to include the face, the neck, the ears, the arms, the trunk, and the legs. Your body that houses your experiences, holds your story for the time that you're here. Combination of your genes, your experiences, your environments. Holding yourself in loving kindness. With compassion and curiosity. An invitation to place a hand on your heart and one on your belly. Noticing the warmth, perhaps the coolness of your hands. Maybe the beat of your heart. Maybe bubbling and movement of your belly. These two parts of our bodies that have their own unique neural pathways. We're still learning so much about the gut brain, the heart brain, connecting to our head brain, main nerve center. And an invitation to say these words out loud or internally. May I be well. May I live with ease. May I be safe. And may I be kind to myself and to others. May I be well. May I live with ease. May I be safe. May I be kind to myself and to others. May I be well. May I live with ease. May I be safe. And may I be kind to myself and to others. And then an invitation to expand your awareness to include our group, those practicing live and those practicing in their own time when we're held. Our group. May we all be well. May we all be at ease. May we be safe. May we be kind to ourselves and to each other. And then expanding that awareness to your household, maybe your village or town, your county, your country, your continent, the universe, the world entire, as far or as close as you feel able to go today. May we all be well. May we all live with ease. May we be safe. May we be kind to ourselves and to each other. May we all be well. May we live with ease. May we be safe. And may we be kind to ourselves and to each other. May we be well. May we live with ease. May we be safe. And may we be kind to ourselves and to each other. And then moving your hands back down to your sides or your lap, if you haven't already. And just resting in the felt sensation of having said those words and held yourself in mindful, compassionate awareness. Wind of Autumn by Saigo. Even in a person most indifferent, even in a person most indifferent in things around him, they waken feelings, the first winds of autumn. So if you haven't already, moving and stretching in ways your body may have asked, you ignored in the practice. Let's move to taking tea together. And I'm having Cistus incanus, cyst, I can't even remember the real name for it. And in autumnal style, I've already pre-brewed some, so it's a bit more potent. It's taking its time. I can really get the flavours. I'm going to add a little bit here. I'm going to open up the space to share about our direct experience of the practice. For those of you practicing in your own time, an invitation to journal or reflect, finish your tea. And do reach out if anything has arisen within the practice. So let's close the space with activating our parasympathetic nervous system. So we're going to practice that breath again, but instead of it being through our nose, the out breath is going to be through our mouth. Actually, I'm going to do another one, the cyclical sigh. Okay, so this is a little bit more dramatic. So we take a deep in breath, followed by a short, sharp other breath, and then out through the mouth, taking as long as you need. So one deep in breath, another short, sharp inhale, and then out through the mouth. So doing that in your own time. And then we can add a French element to it with noise. So breathing in. Two more. And then returning your breath to its natural rhythm. And that the breath is always there for you as an anchor to the present moment. As best you can, taking this sense of connection and awareness into whatever you have left to do with your day.